"Ma'am, I only have $3, he said quietly. "Can I still buy this business management book?" The cashier looked him up and down, his faded work pants, worn-out shoes, tired eyes, and let out a mocking laugh. $3? She sneered. "This isn't a charity shop. Why don't you save that money for bread instead of dreaming about getting rich?" A clerk nearby joined in, shaking his head. "Kid, if you're broke, stop pretending to be some businessman. This store isn't for people like you." Laughter rippled through the small bookstore, each chuckle cutting deeper than the last. Henry's face burned, but he didn't raise his voice. He tightened his grip on the money and said, almost to himself, "I have a startup pitch next week. This is the only reference book I could find." The cashier rolled her eyes. "With the way you're dressed, a startup, you probably wouldn't even understand what's inside that book." Before Henry could respond, a firm voice came from behind the counter. "That's enough." An elderly woman stepped forward from the back of the shop. Her name was Ella, the owner. "We opened this bookstore to share knowledge," she said calmly, "not to decide who deserves to learn." She turned to Henry and placed the book into his hands. "Take it, son." Henry froze. I can't," he said, shaking his head. "This is all the money I have." He held out the $3, his hands trembling. Ella gently pushed the money back. "Keep it. You need it more than I do." Then she reached into a cabinet and pulled out an old, worn notebook. "This was my late husband's business journal," she said softly. "Maybe it will help you too." Henry's eyes filled with tears. "Why?" he asked. "Why would you help me?" Ella pointed to a small verse framed on the wall. "Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." 3 months later, Henry's startup pitch stood out from the rest. He secured his first investment. 5 years passed. Henry became a respected tech entrepreneur in the city. One rainy afternoon, he pushed open the door of that same little bookstore. "Ma'am, do you remember me?" Ella looked up, puzzled. "I'm sorry, have we met?" Henry smiled, emotion rising in his chest. "I'm the man who came in here with only $3 trying to buy a book. I placed a set of keys into your hand. These are for this bookstore. I've paid it off. The deed is in your name." Ella stared at the keys, tears streaming down her face. "You didn't have to do this, child." Henry shook his head and held her hand. "No, you didn't just give me a book that day.